All right, guys, good afternoon. Thank you for coming here. I'm Eric Flowers, Indian River County Sheriff, and I'm excited to talk to you about this case. To start this off, we have to talk about this guy right here. This is John Manchek. John Manchek is 78 years old. He's currently incarcerated here at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. He was arrested originally December 18th of 2014. He had 49 counts of possession of child pornography, and that was based on a Florida Department of Law Enforcement investigation. So back in 2014, he bonded out on those charges, and he immediately fled the country. We knew that he went to France, and he did it to avoid prosecution. So our folks had been working. We knew that France would not extradite him on child pornography charges. They just said, we're not going to cooperate. That's not a serious enough crime. We're not going to do anything about it. So we continued to work to try and get him into custody. In 2020, he made the mistake of ending up in the Dominican Republic, and we were able to take him in custody, bring him back here to the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, to our jail, to face these charges. So he's been with us since 2020. This guy, just to give you a little background, he owns a company called AeroShade, which is, they make the shades for expensive aircraft. He's definitely someone, and I'm going to show you some assets that he has here in a little while that'll help you understand this entire story. But while Mr. Manchek is incarcerated with us here at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, he ends up in a cell with this guy right here, Kerry Shepard, so we'll put him up there. And he also ends up with this guy, who is Byron Harvey. So they start having conversations down in the cell and in the block. They're gonna, Manchek doesn't want to face these charges. He's already fled the country once. He's dual citizen. He's French and American citizenship. And he says, I don't want to stay here. I'm not going to face these charges. I'm not going to do this. So he actually bonds out Byron Harvey. He pays for his bond to get him out of our jail. While Byron is on the outside, they're continuing to have conversations. So we're able to intercept these through our methods. We're able to intercept these conversations. We get word back in April that these guys are planning an escape, that Manchek wants to get out of our jail. In the meantime, another employee of Manchek's, Kristen Meso de Moya, is facilitating phone calls. She's physically holding up inmate conversations. She's holding cell phones together so that these guys can talk to each other, so that they can have these conversations. She's facilitating it. Additionally, another employee of Manchek's, Benjamin Bastion, is out there working on this case as well, working on this. So they're developing a plan. They're going to figure out how to get this guy out. So on the conversations, they're talking about a paint job. That's their code words for what's going to happen, a paint job. And there's other conversations that happen in there as well. But essentially the plan comes down to this. These folks that are on the outside are going to wait until Manchek has a doctor's visit, and they're going to take out our corrections staff while he's out at the medical facility, and they're going to grab him, and they're going to have his plane ready in Fort Pierce, which he does own a plane that is at the Fort Pierce Airport down in St. Lucie County. He's telling them details. He's telling them what he wants in his suitcase, down to the clothing, down to what kind of vodka he wants in his suitcase when he leaves. He's got these guys living, Byron Harvey is living in his house, right? He's living in his house, getting all these things ready. Manchek goes out. This is a vehicle that he owned. This is a Tundra pickup that he owned. We'll put this one up there. And they decide, that's just not good enough for this operation. So they actually go out and buy this van specifically for this operation. They go out and Manchek purchases this van to be used as part of this. So they're targeting our corrections staff. They're having conversations about what he's going to do when he leaves. And the crazy thing about this is he tells us when he leaves, on the calls, he's talking about it, he's going back to his castle in France. So Manchek owns this yacht, the Princess of Palau, and he also owns this castle in France, Chateau de Peshengral. And his plan is he's going to escape in his plane and get back to France, and he's never going to have to face these charges. As a matter of fact, in your press packets that you're going to receive is a copy of a letter that he wrote to the Attorney General, where he's telling the Attorney General, he's innocent and our accommodations are no good, and he wants to go back to France. And his attorney says that he wants to go back to France where they don't take these charges seriously. We take this serious. We're not going to have another Roman Polanski situation in our hands. This is a real deal. This guy's been charged with child pornography. He's in our jail. He's trying to escape. He thinks he's going to have these guys attack our corrections folks. And fortunately, our detectives and our team were able to intercept this, and they did a fantastic job, and because of it, they're all facing additional charges. Of the folks that you see out here, Manchek was already being held on no bond as a result of his child pornography and the fact that he fled the country, but he's now facing attempted escape, a $250,000 bond specific to that. Byron Harvey has been charged with criminal conspiracy, unlawful use of two-way communications. He has a $150,000 bond. Kristen Meso de Moyo is facing criminal conspiracy. She was arrested in St. Lucie County. She'll be brought back here to face those charges. Ben Bastian has criminal conspiracy charges, $50,000 bond, and Carrie Shepard has criminal conspiracy, $50,000 bond. We're proud of our entire team. We're proud that we're here talking about an attempted escape, that we foiled a plan, not that we had an escape happen. And our team did an incredible job. We're still working on assets. We're still working. This guy has access to a ton of money. He has the ability to make this happen. There's no doubt about it. We've interviewed all these folks. We've talked to them about it. Some of them admit some things. Some of them don't. But the fact of the matter is he's trying to escape our jail to not face these charges, and he's going to have to own up to it and face these charges. Our team did an incredible job. I'm proud of everybody that was involved in this. And with that, I'll take any questions you guys might have on this case.
How did you guys discover it?
We received a tip from the outside, which is great. We have a variety of tip lines. These guys weren't quiet about this, and they were talking to other people, and other people got word, and that word got back to us, and so that caused us to start looking into his communications with the outside world. And we quickly put the puzzle together and figured out that this was the real deal. These folks were actually planning and plotting this escape. We actually had some ruse things in place that we were going to try and do to further show that they were actually going to follow through with it. Unfortunately, some things happened in the course of the operation that didn't allow for us to actually carry through with those. But we're confident that they would have attempted to attack our corrections folks had we actually carried through with his doctor's visit in the manner that they thought was going to happen.
Sure, did you stop him before he went to the doctor's office? Did you arrest him, or did you go through that as well?
Yeah, so we actually had a plan to take him, we set up a fake doctor's appointment that we were expecting them to show up on. And the night before all of that went down, his roommate there, Carrie Shepard, had a medical incident, had to be taken out. And he said, stop, we're not going to do this, because he was too hinked up about the entire thing. And so because of that, and because of the operation, everything that we had, and so many, such great concerns about this case, we went ahead and started interviewing people right then. We did take him to his doctor visit, but our SWAT team escorted him, and we ensured that there was no way anything bad was going to happen. Other questions?
Now, he was in, you said 2014, he was out on bond in 2014?
So he was arrested December 18th, 2014, charged with 49 counts of possession of child pornography. On December 19th, 2014, he bonded out the next day and fled the country to avoid prosecution.
How was he going to take your deputy down?
So that was a conversation we were looking into. They had some talk about perfume, and in the interviews they mentioned that they were talking about pepper spray, OC spray. We don't believe that's the case. We believe that there was weapons involved. We know that Byron Harvey's been involved in quite a few things. He had bonded out. Obviously, Manchek bonded him out. He chose him for a reason. He knew that he would be able to assemble a team of people who could hurt our folks. And we take this very seriously, as though they intended to potentially kill our folks out there, and that's just completely unacceptable. So we can't say for sure, but we do believe that it was definitely weapons. They intended to use weapons because they knew, our corrections staff would be escorting him to a doctor's visit, and they thought they'd be able to take him out.
This was kind of elaborate. I mean, gosh, it's like something you see on Law and Order.
2-month investigation. Our detectives have done a great job. They've been monitoring his phone calls in and out. He spoke over to folks in France. He spoke in French. We had those things translated. When we get word that there's going to be a potential escape, we're going to take that very seriously, and our team did an incredible job. Most of our corrections staff, didn't find out about it until after we had him on lockdown. We had him, held in a certain way, and we were working to ensure. We didn't know who was involved when we initially got the tip, and so it took us some time to figure it out. But I feel confident that our team has really gotten to the bottom of this. And as I said, we're still looking at his assets. We're still looking at, what it is that we can do to further this investigation. We were actually talking about potential search warrants in my office before we came in here. There's still more to this case. Making these arrests and announcing it to you guys is just one part of it. There may be other people out there who were involved that haven't come forward or who know something about this, and we'd be interested to talk to them too. We're not done with this investigation. Like I said, we do have that letter that you're receiving that he wrote to the Attorney General's office, and He's just adamant that he did nothing wrong and that our accommodations over there aren't good. But I'll tell you, we've had 2 inspections since he's been in. Our jail is in fantastic shape. It's clean, it's healthy, and he just doesn't want to be in jail. He doesn't want to face these charges. That's the reality of it.
He's still there, right?
He is, yes. He's locked down over there, and he's not going anywhere.
How much is he worth?
Excuse me?
How much is he worth?
I don't know what his net worth is. That might be something you guys can find out on the other side, but we've got photos of him actually at the castle. And so we know that he does own this. We know that he owns this multi-million-dollar yacht. He's got his plane. He doesn't want to own up to what he's done, these child pornography charges, and he's trying to use his wealth and leverage it in our community to get out and flee back to France again.
What was the initial reaction when you realized that his plan was busted?
He's in denial about the entire thing. He believes that he's completely innocent. He's not interested in entertaining the idea. He's just not. He's not interested in that right now. He wants out. He's 78 years old. He just wants to get out of our jail any way he can because he knows he's going to die in prison as a result of these charges.
Did any of them show remorse for being implicated in this?
Remorse? Would you say remorse in this case? I think they were more. I don't think they realized the severity of it in their roles, based on what I've seen. I think that they didn't realize that by potentially facilitating this, that they would be facing these serious charges. Corey, any questions? No? Okay. Thank you guys for coming up today. We appreciate it. And if there's anything else, we'll be happy to answer them for you. Thanks.